Some Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Cambodia Economic Growth Policy Dialogue. Today I have the pleasure to have two old friends. One is a younger brother, Leng. Leng Kang is CEO and chairman of ISI Group, which I think many of you may not know ISI, but you for sure know the brown coffee and eatery. So, but Leng is a chair of the whole group there. So we will have a good discussion on the perspective on manufacturing, and we have a good policy think tanker. Sophal, Dr. Sophal, who's the director of Center for Policy Study here. So again, the topic today will be more on manufacturing and agro-industry resilience. How do Cambodia build its capacity, its productive capacity, so that we can, in this case, produce more ourselves in the context of the border crisis with Thailand, in the context of the reciprocal tariff with the U.S. So I believe it's time now that Cambodia, after more than 30 years after the peace process, that we should start investing into manufacturing, into processing our own natural resource, so that we can be more resilient. So maybe I would start perhaps with Leng first. You have several industrial zones in Phnom Penh, in Sihanoukville, so you have quite a broad perspective on the in this case, the manufacturing facility, because your family has been doing that for over 20-some years, right? So in the context of the U.S., the reciprocal tariff that we are so blessed that we have 19%. So what is your perspective on that?
Before I go into answering your question, probably I reintroduce myself a little bit.
Please.
Because ISI Group is more than just F&B. I think we have our root in manufacturing. So we started from a very small family-run roll forming of a roofing sheet. And slowly we grow and deepen the industry from forming of roofing sheet to galvanized pipe making, to pre-engineered steel building, to engineering constructions and property development. And what you have said also, a major part of our business is industrial park development.
Yes.
So we are right in I think a very good opportunity of a century where there is a big supply chain movement from China and the region. And I think Cambodia stands to benefit a lot from this supply chain movement. I think before the introductions of reciprocal tariff by the U.S., I think we see huge FDI movement out of China and other regions into Cambodia, and I think we benefit a lot. But I think since the introduction of a tariff in April, there was some holding back of decisions for several months during this negotiation period. But thanks God, we are now at 19%, which equalize with other countries in the region. And I think with the continued effort of the government to make the business environment more investment friendly, I'm confident that there will be more of such FDI coming in to invest in Cambodia.
Paul, what's your perspective?
I think Cambodia still has many opportunities for investors to make use of our natural resources or raw agricultural produce and also labor in the rural areas. We have seen the concentration of factories in urban areas, but a few already have spread to rural areas. So in the coming years, I think investor and government can work together to build infrastructure for better connectivity to rural areas. So our labor doesn't have to move to urban areas and have to spend money on housing, also travel back and forth. This should have benefited from government intervention in creating special economic zones by providing land at least, I think, and building roads and clean water infrastructure, electricity. With this help, I think the private sector would find it more easier or conducive to put their factories. And also in terms of transport, it may be sensitive, the cost of transport, but we have been developing more and more highways or also ports. On Monday, we heard from the president of the Sihanoukville port that in a few years to come, there will be deeper and deeper channels for bigger ships to come in, and that will result in less transport cost. So all these together, I think investors should find Cambodia more favorable.
I do agree with the point that you made in the beginning that we should have more industrial zone, industrial park in different provinces, so that we can minimize the rural-urban migration.
Yes.
Because as it is, they come to the city, to Phnom Penh, it's congested, right?
Yes.
And I believe that how you equalize is that you push this industry to the province, and I can see already, like if you go to Kapong Cham along Highway 6, plenty of them. Of course, the concentration is Kapong Svu, but we start to see also the growth in Sihanoukville. One of your latest industrial zone is in Sihanoukville, right?
Yes, correct. I think Sophal has made the right point. I think as a result of this more than 20 years of the industrial development, I think industries are going to where the peoples are, or going to the place that is beneficial to their particular need, because in the past we are very concentrated in the labor-intensive industry like garment, textile, handbag, and so on. But I think as a result of the IDP of
the
industrial development policy 2015-2025, I think we see diversification of our industrial base from labor-intensive to other industry. Say, for example, the latest tenants that we got in our special economic zone in Sihanoukville, they are in car tire manufacturing. So labor is not the most, not the top criteria for them to select the site, because they deal with a lot of volume. So closer to port is their number one priority. Closer to power is because they consume a lot of power, and therefore after having looked at evaluated different sites, I think they finally set their foot in our special economic zone for that particular reason, power, transport. And I think for those industries that need laborers, I think instead of setting their manufacturing base in Phnom Penh or the surrounding, they go right to the source. Say, for example, in Takeo, in Kampong Cham, where there are a lot of people. So from the clients that we have been building a factory for, due to our business in that construction area, we see this trend. So it start to branch out to different provinces instead of just in Phnom Penh, and I think it's a good sign. It brings economic activities to other provinces at the region of Cambodia.
Well, I think for you it's more the manufacturing itself, right?
Yes.
And I'll talk to I'll refer to Sophal later on, more on the agro-industry perspective. But for now, I want to focus on the value addition. And you raise a good point that in this case, the tire manufacturing, it's for export, right?
Correct.
And the good thing is that they look at a lot of market in the region also. ASEP the regional comprehensive economic partnership is a good point that it enable market access to products that are manufactured in Cambodia, right? And under ASEP, the rule origin is only 40%. So, but a tide, I think rubber is probably 90% there. So it's very easy to, to attract investment there. But what other so-called value add manufacturing?
I think we begin to see industries that coming in, they are not like the past. They don't just come alone. I have two cases in our industrial park in SEZ. One is the car tire that we just talked about just now. So they take up a big portion of our industrial park, of our special economic zone, and they will invite their suppliers, their component suppliers in as well, as a clusters, which is a conscious effort by our government, especially MEF and CDC, to encourage such clusters to come in, because this will add a lot of value to their product. It's not just a simple process. So in our case, they invite a zinc oxide supplier to set up, and they continue to bring more. So in a long term, this also gives them advantages because they have all their production input in one place. It will cut down logistic costs, will cut down the ordering, delivery time, and so on and so forth, resulting in more competitive costing in the long term. And the second case that I see is to do with furniture, in particular for our case, because we rooted in steel, and this company is quite a big company, is a subsidiary of Hyundai Group. So they are coming here, I think after evaluating our neighbors also, but they finally set foot in our zone early this year. So they're going to set up a factory, quite big. I think they are going to invest probably in 20-30 million sort of investment to do bed framing to sell to the US. So as part of that clusters strategies, they also bring their component suppliers together, and they also engage us to produce a pipe, steel pipe for them to use as a component of their bed framing. So,
but bed is linked to mattress, right? And here, mattress is made from rubber. So I mean, Sophal, from your economist perspective, Cambodia have like over 500,000 hectares of rubber that are producing latex now. What is your perspective there?
Yes, there's a good opportunity for investors to make use of our rubber that is fresh, that can be turned into latex. That Oknha already tried, and he said it's good. But currently, most of our rubber produced is exported raw to Vietnam for processing. So rubber, I think it's a good case to provide more opportunities for agro-processing, but also these 500,000 hectares will mature also, or some are maturing already, and the trees are good for furniture production.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a raw material. So again, at the moment, it's a lot of trees are exported.
So you mean these rubber trees, when they mature, you have to cut them?
Yes. Normally, the productive years is about 20-25 years.
Okay.
After that, you sell the trees. At the moment, like 1 hectare, farmers can sell for about $10,000.
Really?
Because it's valuable.
Then you
and about 500 trees per hectare.
You replant it?
Yes, and then they replant it if they want to grow the same crop.
Probably I want to add on to the fact that we have this raw material. I think these investors do come here also evaluate all this also, because this is the ecosystem of that industry. So the reason they choose Cambodia is also because we have rubber. We have, like you said, more than 500,000 hectares. And in fact, after they decided, they have already started to go another step upstream. So they visited our other provinces to look for source
Okay,
of the
plantation.
rubber. Not just the source, but they're also thinking of setting up a rubber processing plant to supply
Beautiful.
them into their production.
The tires factory.
Yes.
Okay.
And for the furniture, the bedding company, I think they have their mattress currently made in Indonesia.
Okay.
So they will ship the frame in the future from Cambodia and the mattress from Indonesia. And the fact that we have this raw material is also an attractive factors that entice them to come here. And I'm sure probably they didn't say it, but probably at the back of their business plan, this is their natural
Progression.
next step.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
No, this is good. I can see that let's face it, when we have the peace process in '93, right, the focus of the government is not on all this value addition. And you did a lot of policy research in those days. The focus is on poverty, the focus on make sure we have enough electricity, that there's no pothole in the road. But now we are stable. So we start to look at how can we value add our commodity, the so-called commodity. Now you go up one more notch, right? And in this case, for example, rubber is a good example that all this year is a private sector were left alone. You do whatever you can because you got a private sector. We have the government have other preoccupation to worry about. But that's why it explained the flow of latex to Vietnam. And then it flow back after they process a bit to the Thai manufacturing here. Now, and I'm glad to know that you're saying that they start to value add it here and then to feed that into our manufacturing plant, yeah. So that's a good example, yeah.
I think it's a good progress. And I think it's good to see this diversification away from labor-intensive, low-value-adding industry. But having said that, I think our perception of the low-value-adding industry may not be right also because from my interaction with our tenant and our client in various parts of the country, I think the traditional garment manufacturing in our mind has transformed. I think it's beyond probably my wildest imagination. It's a bit exaggerated, but
we don't make T-shirt anymore.
It is no longer like a sweatshop anymore.
Yeah.
You see 20, 30 years ago, I think when you walk into this big garment factory, say for example, one of our tenants in National Road 2, it looked like an electronic manufacturing facility. It's clean, it's cool, a lot of automation from cutting to sorting to storing. All these are pretty much automated where possible, except the sewing part. But the sewing part now, I think there's also some development in the area to probably replace some of the simple sewing. So I think we should not just say we migrate to electronic industry or other high value adding, but at the same time we should also try to shore up this garment industry, textile industry, if another way to put it, by I think bringing in this more highly mechanized or automated production facility, and at the same time going upstream. Say for example, instead of importing fabric, we should be working hand in hand, private and government and investors, to create an environment and incentive whereby they set up the fabric manufacturing, or even further upstream to weaving, for example. And I think this is particularly important in light of the current transshipment clause that is in our reciprocal tariff, whereby if it cannot satisfy local content of a certain percentage, I can't remember, probably be somewhere 35-40, if we need that local manufactured component. So I would encourage the government to really look into this, because this is one of the biggest industry that employ directly or indirectly, I think probably more than 1 million of our Cambodian. And in light of this returnee from Thailand, which is also close to 1 million people that come back, I think we should not just abandon or leave this labor-intensive industry. We should strengthen it.
Well, I think you rightly say that we have moved up the value. It's the same industry, but you move up the value, because I recall 20-some years ago, we make a lot of T-shirts. Okay. But now you go to a factory, they make suit like we're wearing now. It's very sophisticated machinery, high-tech. I visit several factories there. We even have some who made textile, right? But the point you raise out on textile is very important, because from 2029, when we graduate from the LDC status, we will have no more trade preference. So it means that in the textile industry, you have to look at the double transformation, meaning that you cannot just import the fabrics and cut and trim, right? And so you have to make the fabric. So this is something that we have to start thinking now, because fabric making, printing fabrics, it's very polluting. So we need to put into a central location where you can control the pollution aspect of it. Yeah. But clearly, I agree with you. It's an industry that have a strong foothold already, particularly in the light of the return of the migrant worker from Thailand, from the border clashes. I would say it's a crisis opportunity. You know, they're coming back. Oh my God! I mean, what we're going to do with them? But no. Cambodia is only 16 million people, and our workforce is only 6 million. So these are good, migrant workers returning home. But the point is that if we can get them retrained and upskill a bit, they can enter the workplace. Yeah. Paul?
Yes, I think if you think about the returnees from Thailand, nearly 1 million workers, is quite a lot if we think in terms of percentage, So roughly speaking, their income, 1 million, suppose 1 million times 3,000 a year, that would be $3 billion a year. So we can expand our GDP also. Because the GDP growth is the count of more production within the country. But we have to create jobs for them. Many migrant workers in Thailand work in the agriculture sector as well, and agro-processing, livestock, chicken raising, for example, fishing.
Fruit picking.
Yeah, fruit picking, weeding, all of these. Cambodia has a lot too. Like in the rubber, we talk about some farm owners told me they're still looking for labor to harvest the resin. Now, if there's enough information, coordination for them to work in the agriculture sector and also agro-processing, it would be good. And for processing, I think some of the factories would find it more favorable to be close to the farms, right? Because moving the low-cost produce can be too expensive, such as timber, rubber, and cassava, or cashew also, because they are quite low cost. So government should really be proactive in this. If left to the private sector, they normally would go and find somewhere that they can build a factory. And when they ask about the land price, people tend to ask for a lot. Because this unused land, but if you want to rent or to buy, they ask for a big price. And if they compare to other countries, like in Vietnam, where the government tends to provide land already designated for factories.
Well, I think on this one, the Prime Minister has a good, I would say, plan to start with the Kapong Thom, for example, for cashew processing, where the government will allocate a big percentage of hectare and then make this as a special cashew processing zone there. And this is something that would respond
so
to.
That will showcase.
Yes.
If it's successful, I think government should do more in other provinces.
Yeah.
Really identify key priorities for the value chains. Just pick up a few value chains and work on it in a partnership with the private sector. For food products, maybe we should also engage global buyers. Traders, because they have the access to the market, they know the standards, the safety issues, etc. And we engage them in a partnership with also producers. I think a lot who put in factories, they are for long term, right? They don't want to move factory in the next 1 year, 2 years. They think about 20 years at least. And in that case, they need consistent supply of raw produce. In the case of cashews, cassava, or even rubber. So they should have partnership with the producers as well. There's a framework called PPP, 4P, public, private, and producer partnership. 4P, it's been tried. So like the three parties actually should be in the same boat, and they have a win-win relationship. In this, I think it's not done enough in Cambodia. We have seen examples like Amrut Rice has been doing that in organic rice, and they have been exporting organic rice to Europe. They have farmers in cooperatives that have contract farming with the company, so they have consistent, reliable supply. The demand for quality and safety also has been passed from the consumers to buyers to processors and to the farmers through this network.
Yeah, I think it's quite clear that the potential in the agro-industry is quite clear. I would say from the context now of the current context of the border crisis that we have with Thailand,